In this video, I'll share all you need to know about propagating the beautiful Philodendron Birkin at home. I keep mine on a north-facing window with other humidity-loving plants, and I use a small humidifier to keep the air moist. By the end of the video, you'll know how to propagate your own Birkin and end up with 4 plants from just one. So make sure to stay tuned until the end. Let me start by giving you a brief introduction to the Philodendron Birkin plant. The Philodendron Birkin is a cultivar of the Philodendron genus and is not found in the wild. It was first developed through a process of selective breeding by a plant nursery in Thailand. However, the Philodendron genus is native to the tropical regions of Central and South America, as well as the Caribbean. Philodendron Birkin is known for its striking leaves and unique variegation pattern. The leaves are oval-shaped and typically grow to around 6 to 8 inches in length. They have a glossy, dark green color that provides a striking contrast to the bright white variegation. The variegation on the Philodendron Birkin can vary from plant to plant, but typically takes the form of thin, white pinstripes running along the length of the leaf. In some cases, the variegation can be more pronounced and cover a larger portion of the leaf surface. This distinctive pattern makes the Birkin an eye-catching addition to any indoor space. As you can see, this particular Philodendron Birkin has 2 main stems and 3 smaller ones. Unfortunately, the 2 main stems have weakened at the roots and are beginning to separate. To fix this, I will add more soil to the pot and gently wrap the stems together for support. This will help the plant to regain its strength and prevent further separation. Before fixing the 2 main stems, I will first separate the 3 smaller ones in order to propagate the plant. Once I've taken cuttings from these smaller stems, I will proceed to add more soil to the pot and gently wrap the 2 main stems together for support. There are a few different methods for propagating Philodendron Birkin. Propagation from stem cuttings is one of the most popular and straightforward way to propagate Philodendron Birkin. Simply take a stem cutting with at least 2 leaves and a node. Place the cutting in water or soil and wait for it to develop roots and new growth. The other easy method is by division. If your Philodendron Birkin has multiple stems, like mine, you can divide the plant into smaller sections and pot each one separately. Make sure each section has a healthy root system and at least 1 stem and leaf. In this video, I'll be demonstrating 2 methods for propagating the Philodendron Birkin, so you can choose the one that best suits your needs. To propagate the Philodendron Birkin, you will need a pair of clean scissors, rubbing alcohol for sterilization, rooting hormone, water, and a well-draining soil mix. Before cutting the stems, be sure to sterilize your scissors to prevent the spread of any potential diseases or infections. I will now separate the smallest stem since it has a few tiny roots that can be used for propagation. Although it's a small stem, if I leave it here, it will likely be buried under the soil when I add more later. I will now separate the smallest stem because it has a few little roots. Since it is very small, I will propagate it in water. Water propagation is used when you cut the stem and it doesn't have roots yet. It's a simple and effective way to propagate plants, and it allows you to monitor the root growth easily. Now, I will divide the second stem by gently pulling its roots from the mother plant. However, if the roots are too strong, it's better to use clean scissors to cut them. When cutting, try to cut as close to the main plant as possible while leaving a longer root for the stem you want to propagate. This will give the new plant a better chance to establish itself. As you can see, this stem is larger than the first one and has many leaves, along with a few healthy roots. Given its condition, I will plant it directly into soil. I will now divide the third stem from the main plant. This stem appears to be healthy and has a good amount of foliage, so I will carefully separate it from the mother plant and plant it in its own pot with soil. Initially, I had planned to divide the two main stems and plant them separately. But as I want my Birkin to have a bushier appearance, I will add support to stabilize and firm up the stems. I will wrap both stems with a rope and then add more soil to the pot to provide additional support. This will help the plant grow taller and fuller, making it a more attractive addition to my indoor garden. If your plant is stable enough, you can skip this step. Let's now focus on the propagation process. I will begin by propagating the smallest stem. First, remove any dried leaves and roots from the stem. As previously mentioned, I will be using the water propagation method for this one. To provide moisture and stability, I will add leca to the water. Keep in mind that using leca is optional and you can propagate in water alone. The roots should start to establish and grow within a few weeks. Now it's time for the other two stems. I will plant them directly in soil mix, using pots with drainage holes. I will also apply rooting hormone to the small roots of the propagated plant. The hormone will stimulate growth and encourage the development of a healthy root system. Fill the pots with a well-draining potting mix. Choosing the right soil is crucial for the health of your Philodendron Birkin, especially since it prefers moist conditions. Make sure to select a potting mix that has good drainage properties to prevent overwatering. Before planting, I will apply rooting hormone to the stems. I prefer to use a growing hormone for green plants, which will stimulate root growth and help the plants establish more quickly. However, if you prefer not to use hormone, you can still plant the stems directly, but it may take longer for the roots to develop. I will add more soil to the main plant to make sure it is firmly planted in the pot. It's important to water the new potted plants thoroughly to help them establish in their new environment. Wait until the water completely drains from the pot. Philodendron Birkin prefers to be watered thoroughly, but less frequently. It's important to wait until the top inch of the soil has dried out before watering. When you water, make sure to saturate the soil and let any excess water drain out of the bottom of the pot. It's also a good idea to avoid letting the plant sit in standing water, as this can lead to root rot. In general, it's better to underwater than overwater your Philodendron Birkin, as it can be more tolerant of drought than excess moisture. Since every plant is unique, it's possible that your Philodendron Birkin doesn't have small stems suitable for propagation. In that case, you can try propagating by cutting a stem, but make sure that it has at least one node or some roots to ensure success. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I'll be more than happy to provide answers. If you like my content, please support my channel by clicking on the subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and it's completely free for you. Thanks for watching.